Welcome to the Nugent Whiteboard series. Today we're going to be talking about the process for doing sample collection on the Mondrian SP system. This takes place in 5 very simple steps. Things you're going to need before we get started. You'll need a 100 microliter or 200 microliter pipette. Yep, that's a nice 200 microliter pipette there. That'll do nicely. We'll also need pipette tips, and we don't want to use any funny looking ones here. I'm grabbing an example of what I'm talking about out of the familiar green Rainin LTS pipette tip box. You could use other kinds. It doesn't have to be this one, but this is a nice example of a very normal looking pipette tip. You'll also need a Mondrian SP cartridge from a completed run, which I won't be throwing up in front of the camera because we just don't recommend doing that. There's 5 simple steps to this process: depress, insert and seal, release, lift and weight, and finally, inspect. We're going to go through each one of these in order. First off, of course, will be step 1, depress. Real simple here, we're going to depress the plunger on a 100 microliter or 200 microliter pipetter that we've set to the appropriate collection volume. This is usually 20 microliters. And let me get my pipetter up here and set it to 20 microliters. There we go. And we have depressed the plunger. Perfect. Which takes us right on to step 2, where we insert and seal. To do this, we're going to insert the pipette tip into the collection port on the cartridge and press down very gently to seal the tip against the bottom of the cartridge. So let me draw out what I'm talking about. Here is the bottom surface of the cartridge. There's the top plate with the collection port. There's our pipette tip poised above it, our droplet and filler fluid within the cartridge. Note this is not to scale. So what we're going to do is insert the pipette tip perpendicular, straight up and down to the bottom of the cartridge. Nice and gentle, making the tip flush with the bottom and creating the seal there. It'll push the droplet off to the side a little bit. Don't press down too hard, you'll crush the end of the pipette tip, and that won't be good for anybody. So yes, what we're going to do is we'll just press down gently, just enough pressure to form the seal down there, just like that. Then, while still maintaining downward pressure to keep the seal there, we come to step 3, release, where we release the plunger. This way, we've pulled a vacuum and no fluid will actually flow into the tip until we get to step 4, lift and weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the tip of the pipette just a little, about 2 millimeters. We don't want to take it out of the cartridge. We don't want to move it above the level of the filler fluid. Now doing this releases the vacuum that you pulled when you released the plunger, and it happily slurps up filler fluid and our droplet. Yay! There it is. Once you've done that, we move on to step 5, where we actually take the pipetter out of the cartridge and we inspect it. And what we should see is a 700 nanoliter droplet contained within 19 microliters of filler fluid. Sometimes the droplet will appear as multiple drops. This is just perfectly okay. Sometimes we'll take a look at it and there's our 19 microliter of filler fluid, and where's the droplet? Ah, the experiment's ruined! We can't see it. Where is it? Relax. Don't panic. Yes, that might be helpful. Since you may actually have collected some of your sample, we're going to dispense the contents of the pipette tip into your collection vessel, and then go ahead and repeat steps 1 through 5 with a fresh pipette tip in the same port. Step 1, depress. Step 2, insert and seal. Step 3, release. Step 4, lift and weight. And step 5, inspect. If you've got any questions or have any problems, please feel free to contact Nugent Technical Support at techserve@nugentinc.com. You can also call us at 888-654-6544 or go to the website at www.nugentinc.com. Thank you.